What's up, world, and welcome back to another thrilling edition of Cooking with Chef. And before we get into the cooking, before we get into this topic of the Lions versus the Cowboys week number 7 NFL matchup, let's go ahead and like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell everybody what we're doing around here so we can pick this thing up, man, and try to rise to the top. All right, so let's get into what we came here to talk about. We came to talk about the Lions and the Cowboys week number 7. What's gonna go down, who's in, who's out. Let's talk about some injury news first and foremost. It looks like DeAndre Swift will be available tomorrow. It looks like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds will be available tomorrow. Unfortunately, DJ Chark is still going to be out. He's not going to make it. On the defensive side of the ball, Charles Harris is also been ruled out. He will not make it for this game. In some other injury news, we have Josh Pascal and Jerry Jacobs on that PUP list. They're in the 21-day evaluation period. Both finished up their 17th days of evaluation. So either one of those guys could get taken off of the PUP today. I would really hope that if either one of them got taken off the PUP today, if I had to choose one of them, it would definitely be Jerry Jacobs, because Jerry Jacobs was showing some flashes. He was doing some really good things on that side of the ball. Cornerback is definitely somewhere where we need a lot of help. He was undrafted, but he was really doing his thing until he had that injury towards the end of the year there. But hopefully Jerry Jacobs can get off the PUP list very, very soon. If not this week, hopefully next week. Josh Pascal, I don't know what to make of Josh Pascal, because Josh Pascal is a rookie. We drafted him in the second round. We know what he did in college, but we don't know what he's going to do in the pros. Hopefully he'll translate over to the pros like Malcolm Rodriguez did. That would be great to find two guys, in the front seven that can do it right off the bat as rookies. That would be awesome. That would be phenomenal. That would be a really big help in this rebuilding process. Let's shift some gears, man. Speaking of rebuilding, I had asked a question before about if you think that Goff is the guy. What do you do at the quarterback position? Do you still go ahead and draft a quarterback? So I started thinking to myself, I feel like it is time to make that change, not because Goff hasn't done well this year, but because of the philosophy of the Lions. The offensive philosophy of the Lions right now is to establish the run, okay? And then after they establish the run, they're going to open up the passing game. Now, if we look at the top rushing teams in the NFL right now, what do you see? You see mobile quarterbacks, right? So when you look at the top teams in rushing right now in the league, all right, the top 8 teams, you have the Browns, the Bears, the Saints, the Falcons, the Giants, the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Cardinals, right? Those are the top 8 teams in rushing, okay? Then the Lions are number 11, right? So they're just outside of the top 10. But if the Lions really want to be at the top, you got to look at those teams, man. Those teams have dual threat quarterbacks, with the exception of the Browns, right? The Browns just have 2 really good running backs, right? Jacoby Brissett is not going to be confused with a mobile quarterback, right? So we can't even put that in there. But we already know what the Bears have. We know that the Saints have Jameis Winston, but he's not even really playing right now. Taysom Hill is coming in as a quarterback, doing gadget plays, doing some rushing there, so we can count that a little bit. Okay, we know that the Falcons have Marcus Mariota. We know that the Giants have Daniel Jones. Okay, he's a dual threat quarterback. He runs the ball. We know who the Eagles have. Okay, of course they have Jalen Hurts. We know that the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. Okay, we know that the Cardinals have Kyler Murray. Right, so these teams that have running quarterbacks or dual threat quarterbacks, whatever you want to call them, they are leading the league in rushing profoundly, right? 7 out of the top 8 teams in rushing have what you would call dual threat quarterbacks. So I feel like if the Lions really want to establish their run, if the Lions really want to be at the top of the league in rushing, it might be time to go that way, right? And the jury is still out of whether that's the best thing to do or not. We have to see who wins the Super Bowl. We have to see who does well in the postseason. But typically having a running game that late in the season is a really good thing to have, right? So that's just an aside. So back to the game. I think we're in trouble. I think we're in trouble. Dak's coming back. We haven't really seen Dak play outside of the first game of the season because that's when he broke his thumb. He wasn't really doing all of that great before he went out of the game. He was playing against a Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that hasn't looked like the Super Bowl defense, but of course they're much better than the Lions defense. The Lions defense is last in everything. They are last in yards, they are last in points, they are last in last and last and last and last. They are in last place, 32 out of 32. Okay, this defense is bad. That's actually the thing that they're best at. They're best at being bad, right? So Aaron Glenn is going to have to be an actual wizard. He would have to do actual magic to get this defense to turn around in the middle of the season. I don't think it's going to happen because, as I always say, and I'm going to keep saying until it's not true, we do not have the talent on that side of the ball, or at least we do not have the talent available, okay? Levi Onwuzurike, who showed some flashes, of course, we all know he's out for the remainder of the season because he had back surgery. All right, Romeo Okwara is not back yet. Hopefully, we'll see him back very soon. We got some other people that are out. We need them back, okay? When all that talent becomes available and they put some games together, then hopefully we can see a little bit of improvement. I think that the improvement has to come through free agency signings and through the draft and through some trades, right? We saw a big trade a couple of days ago. Run CMC was traded to the San Francisco 49ers. It seems like the rich get richer. Where are the Lions when these things happen? I know we're talking about defense right now, and he's clearly an offensive player, but where are the Lions when these things happen? Okay, oftentimes when it's a trade for a player who's a superstar or even just a Pro Bowler, right, the Lions are never anywhere around, and it's a lot of the times they get dealt away for very paltry draft compensation, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, okay? I mean, come on, a rebuilding team giving up some 6th and 7th round picks for someone who could be had, go get DJ Moore out of Carolina. Carolina seems to be giving up everybody, right? They're giving up everybody. They're starting a complete rebuild. They fired their coach. They're tearing it down. Go get somebody from over there. Go get somebody. I'm sure if Christian McCaffrey can be dealt, anybody can be dealt, right? Because Christian McCaffrey was the face. He was the face of the Carolina Panthers. They sold their face. They traded away their face. If you can trade away your face, any other part of the body can get traded. Believe me. All right? So, Lions, go ahead, pick up the phone, do some calling. Brad Holmes, come on now. I mean, we could use some help. Definitely on the defensive side. They got some defensive players over there. We could use some help. Jeremy Chin, right? I mean, J.C. Horn definitely is not giving, they're not giving him up, right? But, come on, somebody get a corner, get a safe. We need some safety help now. Speaking of needing safety help, please, Lions, this week, do not put Jeff Okudah alone on an island with CeeDee Lamb. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I think he proved to you against DJ Metcalf and against Devontae Parker, he's not the shutdown corner that everybody thought that he was, okay? Maybe at some point in his life, at some point in his career, he can get there. But right now, he is not that man. He is not him. He is not Timothy McGillicuddy. He's not. And it's okay for him not to be him. But don't be fooled by all the hype. All right? You believe in your own hype, but it's so untrue. All right? Don't be fooled by the hype. Give him safety help over the top. Continue to give him safety help over the top every single week until he proves to you that he can cover without safety help over the top. Until he proves that he can play in man coverage. And he's going to have to prove in practice. Okay? He's going to have to prove this in practice. Don't put him out there in the middle of a game trying to prove it, because it ain't working. Okay? Don't put him there. Just don't. I mean, CeeDee Lamb only has 2 touchdowns this year. Don't let him have 4 or 5 when he comes out of the game against the Lions. Don't let him have that. All right? So give that man some safety help over the top. I know we don't have a lot of safeties to help, but give that man some safety help over the top, okay? And stop this foolishness, okay? All right. And also, looking at some other changes that have needed to be made, and Dan Campbell tried to adjust those changes this week by changing up some of the practice routines to try to infuse some intensity into this team. Because as I said, when they were out there against the New England Patriots in New England, they looked like they were dead. They looked like they were slow, lethargic, lifeless. They had no energy. They had nothing in the tank. And I said, they don't seem to be able to play with any intensity away from Ford Field. This is why we're still looking for our first road win in the Dan Campbell era. Okay? We're still looking for our first road win. So hopefully they can go into Dallas with some intensity, understanding that they're about to play an NFL football game, right? And be up for it. Get the juices flowing, get the blood pumping through the veins, do something, right? Because that effort, as far as intensity that you put out in New England, was poor. It was paltry. It was bad. Okay? Lifeless, listless, everything less. Okay? So that's what that is. All right. So what do we think is going to happen? Unfortunately, as I've been saying, the defense is bad. They're worse than everything. I think that the Cowboys are going to come out and they're going to run this defense over. And I would really love to be proven wrong. Please prove me wrong this week, Lions. Prove me wrong. I need to be proven wrong. And so do so many of the other Lions fans. We all need to be proven wrong. All right. Now, one more thing that I want to address. I was watching some other sports show. I'm not going to say the name of the show because I just don't feel like dignifying what I heard, okay? This guy was screaming about how he's tired of seeing the Giants win and the Giants are a worse team on paper than the Lions. Stop it, man. Just stop it. All right, I'm not even going to get into all the things that he said, but he pretty much said that on paper, the Giants are a worse team than the Lions, okay? Number one, you're wrong. Number two, we don't play the game on paper, right? We don't play the game on paper, all right? One of the things that he mentioned was, oh, the tight ends are better. Come on, man. This TJ Hawkinson thing, it's the strangest thing that I've ever seen. Like, everybody around the country thinks that TJ Hawkinson is the man. And he is good, but he is so easily taken out of the game that it doesn't make any sense. Right? Where's that dog? You got to have that dog in you. Where is it? TJ can be taken, like TJ will disappear for games, right? Not quarters, not halves, entire games. Right? So we need either TJ to step up and get some more dog in him, or we need Ben Johnson to go ahead and do some better scheming. But I really don't believe that it's the offensive coordinator. I really think that it's TJ. TJ seems to be a little bit lackluster. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't look at TJ and see George Kittle. Right? I don't look at TJ and see Travis Kelce. I don't look at him and see those people, right? So we want to act like those are the people that we have in TJ. And hopefully one day he can get there. But come on, man. I mean, we can't crown a guy for pretty pedestrian stats. I mean, look at TJ's stats. I like TJ, right? I like TJ, but I'm not ready to be like, oh, he's an elite tight end, and if you got him on the team, that makes your team this much better. Nah, the Giants are a better team than us. The Jets are a better team than us, okay? They've turned it around so far, okay? Both of those teams are on path to the playoffs. The Lions can't spell playoffs. You understand what I'm saying? We can't spell it right now. And hopefully in the very near future, we will be able to spell it. But come on, guys. Pump the brakes. Stop it. Get some help. All right. So that's it for this week. Another thrilling edition of Cooking with Chef. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow with the same face. This smiling, jovial, because that means that we didn't get our butts kicked. That means that we may have won the game. Will we do it? I don't know. Time will tell. Until that time, I'll see you later. Peace.